Hey everyone, and Merry Christmas for those who celebrate, and Happy Holidays for everybody else. How is it going? Yeah, I double asked that, didn't I? But today we are going into the problem with SINSMAS. SINSMAS. Ah, man. It's been a hot minute since I've talked about Helluva Boss, but hey, here we are. She just, Vibsy Pop released, SINSMAS right before Christmas, so yeah, it took me a little bit to get the notes together and to rewatch it a couple of times, writing everything down, blah blah blah. But I think I got everything together, so we are gonna go into the problems with SINSMAS, okay? So sit down, relax, grab your cocoa, grab your snacks, because this might be a long one. So, firstly, we're going to talk about the fall from grace for Stolas, which we now see in this episode that he is dealing with his life now being just a powerless demon. He's dealing with, not really being able to do much and day to day life, and how he's not able to talk to Octavia, how he's not able to use his powers, not how he's not able to use his status anymore. He's really gone down, and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy that because I've been waiting for this man to be taken down ever since the Lululand episode, which I will go into to another point later on. But I've been waiting for this to happen for so long, and I am so fucking happy. I know, guys. I know. It's sad that I'm amused that this guy gets to suffer, and it's well deserved. It's well deserved. Let me mention that. Let me mention that because this has been building up since season one. That Stolas is now got to deal with his consequences. But I feel like there's a lot missing there to kind of explain. Well, what else could he do? He just kind of sits down for the longest time. I think between these months, I think it's been a month during this time after the previous episode that he's been dealing with this, if I remember my facts right. If not, then feel free to criticize me. You can always do that if you find me not amusing enough. But anyways, so he doesn't really try mentioning much of anything about his health to Blitz, and I get that to some degree. But when you start living with someone, especially someone who should probably know your health history, to a degree, somebody's obviously if you're going to move in with someone new, you're going to tell them important things like allergies, or you know basically what you can't eat, what you can't touch specifically, or yeah, you get what I mean. You're going to tell them your allergies, you're going to tell them you're on specific meds or something. But you don't really see that with Stolas, and I get it. It's Blitz, I don't really think has insurance, or I guess he only has insurance for the building. But whatever to that, whatever to that. It's whatever. But it's kind of weird that it's not mentioned, especially considering that he's taking these meds to help with, his not illness, condition. Like, it's kind of like if you don't take them. I know this from experience. I know this from first-hand experience and second-hand experience, and it is not something you want to do. With basically not taking your meds, you're basically like, well, I guess I'm kind of fucked now. If you're not able to do that, because the levels in your brain and your body of hormones, chemicals, and yeah, it's not pretty. It's not pretty. It's it leaves you feeling mentally drained, or sometimes there's other effects that make it feel much worse. It kind of shows in this episode as well, but I kind of wish he would have just mentioned that. I don't think Blitz wouldn't mind going after and stealing that shit for him. He was willing to already steal clothes. This man's willing to do just about anything, let me be real. But it's kind of weird that you don't mention that very important factor. And I guess it's also another way to kind of open up about what, Blitz and Stolas don't discuss. But it's just this should have been the number one thing to mention, aside from you just not being able to go home anymore. It's really, really bad that they don't really, you got Stella and Andy. I'm gonna call him Andy because his full name is really hard to say. I'm sorry for those who love him and wish that he sound like I could say his name, but I'm just like I for the life of me I cannot. I have a very bad pronouncing problem. I apologize for that. It's annoying. But okay. So we have Stella and Andy. Like they're so one dimensional, which leads me to my next point of this episode that I just really didn't find amusing at all, which is that they're so one dimensional. They're eh. If you removed them from the episode and just replaced Andy with somebody else that's a ice demon or ice whatever, it would have gone the same. It would have gone the same. I'm just saying. It would have been the same. Because there's really not much for them to actively do. It's like, once they got what they wanted, it's just like, well, what do we do now? I don't know. And Andy basically gets punched in the face by Stolas, and he's powerless. He's powerless. So how does that make any damn sense that we have that happening when, in this rich person's place, it should have been guarded by other, lower class demons who are guards and stuff, or higher ups of some kind. I don't know. Especially for like, this specific family. B, Andy should have at least some power there. Like, he should have saw that one coming. And C, it's just like, how did he even get past anyone not spotting him? Like, you're telling me this man's security is just like, well, whatever, I see Stolas, let him come back in. Like, what? He's banned from going home for 100 years. Like, what the hell? And it was a month, so that should have been a way to, like, kind of open the door. It makes more sense if it was in a public place where they saw each other. That would have made more sense. But him approaching the house, and you're telling me no guards are there, nobody's there, because, they wanted to, like I don't get this. I don't get this. I mean, some could probably say maybe they're, all the guards and staff are at their home celebrating SINSMAS. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think Stella and Andy are that welcoming to just let them do what they want. They're just gonna be like, well, you get to spend the SINSMAS making it perfect for us. Like, that's what I see from those two. Not anything else. Just them being spoiled asshole stepmother-like figures, because why the fuck not? But yeah, they got basic evil stepmother personalities. They don't really do much of anything productive for the plot than just sitting there and waiting for Stolas to call. And it's just like, oh, look, he's trying to call her. And it's so fucking ridiculous, too. It's so ridiculous. Like, you don't have anything else going on, like, not trying to build an army, not trying to, like, do anything big for a plot, not doing anything with that power you just got from the court. Like, you're just sitting down and enjoying your reading and poking fun at Stolas and, basically doing, like, oh yeah, blah, yes, we won, blah. Sorry for my bad evil laugh. I know I'm terrible at it. I'm very terrible at it. But you know what? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. But it's just so fucking ridiculous because there should have been at least some development for these two. Give me something, like, make it make sense. Like, I will take, Stella being mad at Stolas by her just being like, well, one day he ruined my sandcastle. I'll accept that. But she's just evil because she wants to be evil. Like, I'm not asking for her story to be sympathetic. A lot of bad guys and criminals we see in real life, they have a lot of, backstories that may be sympathizing towards a lot of different people. But the thing is, they're still shitheads anyway. A little bit more information to kind of explain their actions and such wouldn't hurt the plot. It would bring more in. Let me be real. Let me be real. And then let's get on to our next, our next point for this episode that I just. So I'm just kind of really frustrated because we basically went over them because why? Like Imp couldn't kill them because whatever fucking reason. Like, are you serious? So Imp basically kills people, no questions asked. They just go ahead and kill people. So you're telling me all it takes is one gay couple to be like, oh well, I guess we're gonna go home, guys. Like, I'm not even surprised that this happened because it's kind of like Vibsy's way of just like going along with the plot, just doing what she can to kind of add character development. But really, it should have gotten some more details in because this was really rushed to have it happen. So we learned from the very first episode from season 1, we have seen Imp kill everybody they're hired to kill, no questions asked. And that involved a happy family. That happy family, quotation marks around that, still died. Like, what? Like, what exactly did these two do? Like, we don't get enough information to cover that. Like, from the very beginning, it's just like, we got the explanation for, that those two, like, that one wife cheating on her family with another man who turns out to be the teacher's, like, husband. And we basically don't get much of anything else but that. Like, sorry, I'm just like, yet these two are, passed over because Blitz saw himself in their shoes. Like, I get that as a character development moment because, Blitz was trying to do that in the first episode of, like, killing the mom and such. But I'm just kind of like, how come we don't really get much information, like, for these two? Like, oh, they're just like Stolas and Blitz. They're gay for each other. They love each other so much. Like, well, there should have been more information to kind of make Blitz realize, hey, maybe not everyone we're hired to kill deserves it because this or that reason. This would have been a good time to kind of show more of that if they wanted to do that. And I feel like there should have been more information for, the client's backstory. Like, maybe they were already divorced and the wife couldn't handle it, decided to go over to the house, gets into a car crash, dies there and then. And, maybe the former husband's boyfriend was the doctor that tried everything he could to help the wife. Like, people are that bitter. Like the wife being that bitter. It would have been fine. Like, just show the backstory of these two a little bit for, like, even if it's just like a minute, like just a phone call, or maybe like, I don't know, which one's like the previous husband. I'm guessing it's the one on the left. I'm guessing the original husband's the one on the left, but I could be wrong. I don't know. But I'm guessing so because the skin tones are matching with, like, the little girls. But what I mean is that we could have seen the, like, husband's boyfriend. Maybe he was a doctor or surgeon trying to help the wife. And maybe it's just mentioned for, like, a few seconds or something. Maybe the two are talking in the kitchen, trying their best to be happy, to, like, put on happy faces for the girls. Like, it's more than just being able to, like, put that scene at a fireplace and just, like, because remember, there's the same thing happened in episode 1 where there's where that couple was shown at dinner with their kids trying to have a nice, family dinner. But it just needs more information. We got more information from that couple and from that family specifically. I mean, we should have at least gotten more information for this one. And it would have made sense to kind of kick out the woman for being basically, abusing the situation. I don't know. But it just doesn't really set well with me that we don't really get much information than just Blitz seeing himself in the couple. I'm not saying it's bad, but there should have been more information for this situation. That way it would have made more sense, and it would have added more information for Blitz to kind of absorb and be like, well, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, because they were at least trying to keep her alive. There could have been more information, you know? But instead, it's just glossed over and made for, like, Blitz and Stolas to be inserted into the situation. And it's just like, you have female characters being, like, yeah, she was cheated on. Like, maybe she made that up. Like, if they wanted to go down that route of storytelling, that could have been a easier explanation. It should have been, like, I know we shouldn't obsess over, like, a lot of the clients, but it has been a while since there was a, like, some information done for some of these clients, and I think it makes more sense to kind of go down that route. In my personal opinion, is getting more information and understanding it a little better than just, well, they're there. That would have been made more of that would have made more sense. That's what I'm saying. Or they would have just should have just killed them off the screen or something. I don't know. Whatever would have helped the story grow, I'm just kind of like, it feels kind of like glossed over in a lot of ways, rushed. It's kind of why I was like, Mastermind should have been like 2 parts, not just like one. That's kind of like, there should have been some more information for this episode. Let me be real. But yeah, anyways, sorry for the rambling there for this part. I'm just like, this isn't me just saying this because, well, like, Imp should kill everybody and everything. They should have, like, heard out more information if they really wanted to, like, not do the killing. You get what I mean? More information provides more of an idea of what this client is, trying to kill them for. That way it's like, well, you're basically, these guys were trying to save you. And yeah, he's your husband's ex-husband's current boyfriend, but they were doing their best to save you. Like, that would have made more sense if it was that kind of situation. It can just be mentioned less than a minute, and it's just like they overhear it, and it's like, well, I don't really feel comfortable doing this now because they aren't really assholes to be killing. You get what I mean? That's more information added to the story. But okay, let's move on to the next one. I'm over rambling a little bit for this part. So we're going to get on to this one, and this one is centered around Stolas did this to himself. Ever since the Lululand episode, I have always realized that eventually that's going to catch up to Stolas. It's going to affect him, and it's going to be a very dramatic, like, big consequence, and it finally happened. I was surprised that they actually went with that. And not just Octavia being like, well, sure, guys, let's all be a happy family now, instead of not, like, not looking past this trauma or whatever. And it's like, oh, okay. I'm kind of glad they went this route, and it really shows the consequences to Stolas' actions, because it's, we haven't really seen Stolas being any more affectionate for only those 2 episodes that we've really seen him try to do so, whether it's the Lululand episode or the episode where Octavia goes to the human realm to check out the stars and such. It's basically surprising that it didn't happen sooner. But there's not a lot of episodes where these 2 actually bond, or Stolas trying to do his best to bond with her and pushing Blitz to the side. I think that's something that should have been easily seen, that Blitz's presence kind of makes Stolas act like, focused entirely on him and being a pervert with him, even when Octavia's there. And that's kind of really gross, let me be real. And I know a few people will be like, oh, but, she's a big girl now. She can, endure this. And it's like, what? What? Are you fucking serious? Because this is your kid. You're not going to talk about weird kinky shit in front of your kid, will you? Like, out of all the scenes with, like, Blitz and Stolas, I would have thought, like, a long time ago that Blitz would be the one that brought up his relationship and sexual stuff a lot in the. Well, I mean, he probably brings it up to, like, Millie and Moxie from time to time, but I don't think he tries to do it with, like, not Millie, Luna. My mind is just, like, fucked up right now. I'm just like, wait, what's going on? Oh, what was I supposed to say, Millie or Luna? Yeah, I'm just. But yeah, it's very awkward considering we don't really see Stolas try to make the transition from married family to divorced family easier for Octavia. I would have thought he would have tried to do that, like, throughout the, like, second season, that he would have tried to make it easier for her. And I get it, she's an edgy teenager who does not want to be, like, around too much, but it's like the more isolated she felt, it's like the more likely chances she's gonna need to get, more focus on understanding how she's dealing with those emotions and how she's dealing with herself. It's very frustrating to see that it's glossed over, it doesn't get much attention, it's basically forgotten about, just like Octavia and most of Stolas's thoughts. It's like it's glossed over. It's glossed over. And we're just supposed to cheer for, like, Stolas for being like, oh, his relationship with, like, Blitz is very important. He needs happiness for himself. Who cares about, like, Octavia? And it's like, what? No, this is something you gotta remember. This is, like, a huge part of it. Like, children should always come first before any lover, before any girlfriend, before, like, any future partner. You have to make it easier for them in this divorce, because a lot of times parents don't look into that, and often the children start to resent their parents for not staying with their mom or with their dad, and it's a very difficult time, and I'm glad that it's shown on screen, so that's kind of a win for this situation. So anyways, we're gonna finish it off with the last slide, and hopefully it will be good. So it's not just me being negative about every single thing, guys. I want to also add in some good points that really helped this episode so I could look forward to something other than just Stolas's and Blitz's relationship. Granted, I will say that was a cute scene at the end where they're just kind of dancing. It fit well, but it didn't feel like, I don't know. It worked, but it kind of also didn't work, if that makes sense. Like, I know people are going to be confused by that, but yeah, I apologize. But yeah, I do like the little hints throughout the episode that Millie was pregnant, shown through her mix of emotions as well as vomiting when she got through the portal, because sometimes travel really makes people sick, especially when they're pregnant. And yeah, I really loved that at the end we just, like, get that hit, like, final hit of, oh gosh, she's pregnant, oh my gosh, wow. And there's a lot of emotions in that scene, and I really enjoyed that. It's like not like the whole discussion between Millie and Sally isn't like discussed, like, on screen, but you get that hint that they did discuss it, and it's like, it's gonna be about that, like, emotional conversation, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think with scenes like that kind of really helps trim out the unnecessary stuff, because we can leave it to our interpretation for what was said, for what was, being spoken about through just the hints that we saw before and after she comes back from, the hallway. That's a perfect way to do that. And another thing I loved about this was seeing Luna actually hanging out with her friends, which we really need to see more of to kind of show off that Luna isn't just a, isolated, lone wolf kind of female character. she has friends. She has plenty of friends. I would like to see more of that in future episodes. Let me be real. I think that really helps with making her feel like she has a life outside of Imp. But yeah, seeing the interactions between the side characters was a good thing too. Mostly between Luna, Millie, Moxie, and maybe the occasion of seeing the actions of like Stolas watching Millie and Moxie fight throughout the like throughout the office moments. It kind of helped make the interactions for what would come later on. It really is nice to see the emotions behind that specific fight. I really liked that. But anyways, guys, other than that, I this was a hit or miss episode. To me, it was kind of like a hit with the side characters more than with the main characters. I'm not really like sold on Stella and Andy being a good villain. Like, hell no, they're boring as hell. They're too one dimensional for me. I really do not like it. They're boring as hell. And the relationship with Stolas and Blitz is kind of developing, sort of ish. Though I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to push it even further and try and like skip a lot of things just so they can like get it sold more to the like other fans. Like, it's just I think this was more of a hit for the side characters than the main characters, is the best way I can sum it up. Anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed that. And if you did, and if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world to me. Also, give this video a like and comment down below. Let me know what you thought of SINSMAS. Did you think it was good? Do you think it was bad? What's your full thoughts on it? Tell me right now. Anyways, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and I will see you all in another Dazzling Rambles fanhole episode. So stay safe, stay cool, and most importantly, stay hydrated. This is Dazzling Kate, signing the hell out of here.